Hey everybody and welcome back to my channel. So we have a lot of news to go over in today's video. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer just announced that the IRS is taking action on the new $2 billion for certain workers in America. And there are also several states that will be receiving more federal stimulus relief money from President Biden's infrastructure bill. Folks, do you believe that individual states should be responsible for sending out their own state stimulus checks? Tell me in the comments below. So California sent out...
So they say, well, it's not going to cost the current seniors anything. No, current seniors will pay more with their budget and their plans for the Affordable Care Act to open up again the donut hole.
The first batch of Golden State stimulus payments this week, delivering payments to more than 600,000 residents. The relief checks started hitting bank accounts on Friday, and the government has so far distributed about $354 million in the first wave. The payments, which will be sent by either direct deposit or paper check, will be issued in 2-week increments.
To take hundreds of billions of dollars out of Medicaid, which is about long-term health care for our seniors, and the list goes on.
The second round of stimulus checks for California residents is part of Gavin Newsom's $100 billion budget plan that he signed into law back in July. Part of the plan includes the state to be expecting to provide about $12 billion in stimulus relief, 15.2 million California households. In addition, folks, California, Texas, and New York will likely cash in big on the $1 trillion infrastructure package if the bill makes its way to President Biden's desk.
That you work hard, that you pay into this system, and that it would be there for you. And we cannot make it break America's promise to our seniors.
However, far less populous states like Montana and Alaska will get the most money per capita. The administration said Californians should plan for at least $44 billion in infrastructure funds, the biggest sum for any state, with highways and public transit alone compromising for about $35 billion of that total. Now, Texas came in at number 2 with an estimated allocation of $35 billion, between $26.9 billion in estimated highway funds and $3.3 billion in estimated public transit funds.
This bipartisan work on infrastructure just reinforces the recklessness of the purely partisan taxing and spending spree that Democrats want to ram through next.
New York, in third, is projected to receive $26.92 billion, folks. Let's not forget, CNBC's analysis shows that Vermont, Montana, Wyoming, and Alaska lead when it comes to estimated per capita infrastructure spending, with at least $3,500 per resident. California's estimated per capita allocation is less than $1,250 per resident. The White House is hoping to make good on Biden's campaign promises ahead of the midterm elections, and he has built the plan as a generational investment. The Senate overwhelmingly approved the $1 trillion infrastructure bill earlier this month in an effort to rebuild the nation's crumbling roads and bridges, as well as fund new climate resilience and broadband initiatives. Now, thousands of New Yorkers who previously couldn't access the roughly $2 billion from New York State Excluded Workers Fund will now have their chance to do so. To qualify for this fund, everybody, workers had to obtain an ITIN number from the IRS. However, because of backlogs, limited capacity, and crisis-related closures at the IRS, thousands of new eligible Americans in the state of New York would have had to wait for a year to receive their ITIN. And this delays the payments of a maximum of around $15,000. But the Biden administration has said ending the federal programs at this time is appropriate. He also indicated that states can use recovery funds to help those who are still struggling with unemployment. To date, no state has elected to do so. CBS News reached out to officials in 50 states to see if they would be extending the enhanced $300 benefits or the programs. The vast majority acknowledge states will return to pre-crisis unemployment benefit levels starting next week, folks. That's all the news in this video, everybody. I hope all of you guys are having a great day, and hope you found this video useful and helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family.
That I saw Leader McCarthy's 11th hour opposition. This shows how difficult it is to negotiate with Republicans. If the Republican leaders are just going to throw their lead negotiators under the bus, why do they even participate in negotiations?
Ports, broadband, high-speed internet. Okay, that's what I think most Americans think of when we talk about infrastructure. But no, the speaker, she wants to tie that in with a 3.5 trillion, which is really, it figures out to be 5.5 trillion. She wants to tie that in and say you can't have one without having the other. And what is in that $3.5 trillion?
Yet know how long this will take for the local utilities to repair, but clearly that's a big priority for everyone involved. It could be weeks to get everything fully back up and running. Administration officials are also engaged directly with electricity sector leadership to help ensure all available resources are being brought to bear to restore power as quickly as possible. As you all saw, the president just spoke with governors and mayors from impacted communities, and he was at FEMA's National Response Coordination Center yesterday to receive the latest updates on the response operations.
Good to see all of you. This is our first in-person town hall since the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic, and it's really thrilling to have the opportunity to be in community in person with you all. As we begin this conversation tonight, I just want to reiterate why these town hall events are so important to me. Co-governance is something that we ran on and is one of the core values our office has, and it shapes our work every single day. I fundamentally believe my success in Congress is contingent upon inviting members of our community to come along this journey through conversations in roundtables, in town halls, and community events. All of these conversations have directly guided my legislative priorities in Washington. So I would love to give you guys some really quick updates on the things that we have been up to, and then introduce two of my colleagues to tell you about some important work we've been doing together. And then transition us quickly so that I can take as many questions as possible and hopefully get you all home in time to have dinner for those of you who haven't had dinner yet. Earlier this summer, we advanced $14.4 million in funding for 10 community projects that we submitted in the spring. These 10 projects invest in communities that were hit the hardest by both the pandemic and the social unrest in the past year. They address joblessness, the food desert, housing insecurity, and access to healthcare. These projects that we included to ask for funding include rebuilding the Hennepin Healthcare Clinic on East Lake Street, skills training for clear energy careers, sprinkler updates for the Minnesota Public Housing Authority, funding for Minneapolis American Indian